Hey guys, in this video, I'm going to read aloud this article from The Left. Um, this week is kind of different because we are covering two different current events in the same week. Most of the time we just cover one, but because these two current events have to deal with the freedom of speech in school, we're going to cover both of those current events. So the first link in all three perspectives, the left, the right, and the center, are going to deal with the same current event, Brandy Levy, the cheerleader. The second link is going to deal with a different current event that we're going to cover on later in the week that also deals with the freedom of speech. So go ahead and click on this very first link from the article from the left. As we read, we are going to be looking for supporting reasons for Brandy Levy and her case, and supporting reasons for the Mahoney School District's case. All right, the Supreme Court's cursing cheerleader case is also about mean girls and their adult enablers. The court heard arguments Wednesday in a case that could have profound implications for kids' freedom of speech. It probably shouldn't have gotten so far. The case Mahoney Area School District versus BL, in which the Supreme Court heard oral arguments on Wednesday, would just be mean girls on steroids for the digital age if the First Amendment issues weren't so important. So far I really haven't seen any reasons for either side. They're just kind of introducing what happened. A 14-year-old high school cheerleader, BL, for Brandy Levy at Mahoney Area High School in central Pennsylvania didn't make the varsity cheerleading squad and vented her teenage angst about being consigned to another year of junior varsity to her friends on Snapchat with the liberal use of a curse word and a two-fingered salute. But another cheerleader who didn't follow Levy on Snapchat got a screenshot and brought it to her mother. The mother was, not coincidentally, one of the coaches and shared it with another coach, who was also a math teacher at the high school. Levy then got booted off the JV squad for the year, and now the U.S. Supreme Court will determine whether a student has any right to free speech about school at all. So in this paragraph, they seem to kind of focus on how the Snapchat message went beyond Brandy Levy's intended audience, which kind of got her booted off the team unfairly. So we could go ahead and add that to our research notes. Snapchat message was shared beyond the, we'll say, Brandy Levy's intended audience. Kind of unfair consequences. All right, so we're going to go ahead and keep on reading, looking for reasons that would support Brandy Levy's case, reasons that would support the Mahoney School District case. It would be laughable if it weren't so important. What is technically at stake here is whether the First Amendment's protection of free speech applies to off-campus doings of the nation's 50 million public school students, but the case also illustrates the outsized reaction of a group of adults who ought to know better to a frustrated teenager in possession of a cell phone with a large group of friends and some number of frenemies. So in the first part, they kind of talk about yeah, this is all about the First Amendment, but it's also showing adults who should know better overreacting to a frustrated teenager. So we could add that to our notes right here. Adults who should know better overreacting to a frustrated teenager's angry rant. All right. The court will be deciding whether the 1969 decision in Tinker versus Des Moines Independent Community School District, which cemented students' right to free speech in public schools, can be applied to off-campus speech. In that case, the court ruled that student speech is protected under the First Amendment as long as the school is not substantially disrupted. The nominal question here is whether Levy, who is now an 18-year-old college student, substantially disrupted the operation of her small-town high school with an 8-word Snapchat rant that someone else passed around beyond the audience in which it was intended. Okay, so they're saying, did she really disrupt school? Did she really with an 8-word Snapchat rant? So you can kind of go ahead and add that to our notes right here. We'll go ahead and just write, is she really disrupting school with an 8-word Snapchat rant? Just the phrasing and the way that the article poses it, it seems like maybe not. But the larger issue of whether Tinker applies to off campus speech stabs at the heart of free speech for the digital generation, especially when the line between what is on campus and off is blurry because most students' speech during the pandemic has taken place on Zoom and social media platforms. Okay, so that seems like a very important piece in there. They're saying, but look, it's hard to tell what's on campus and off campus because the pandemic. So we could go ahead and just highlight this sentence right here. Like I couldn't have said it better myself. We can copy and paste that in, and that's okay to copy and paste for your research notes. Okay, as long as you're not like copy and pasting the whole article. This is just gathering the information. Levy was at a 24-hour convenience store called Coca Hut on Saturday in May 2017 when she found out she hadn't made the varsity cheer squad. It compounded her existing sense of frustration because she'd also lost out on her preferred spot on the softball team and was in the middle of finals, Education Week reported. I was frustrated, I was upset, I was angry, and I made a post on Snapchat, Levy told ABC News Live. I said, F school, F cheer, F softball, F everything. She and a friend ended the post by showing their middle fingers to the camera. It is what any teenager today would do, sharing her drama with a circle of 250 friends on social media. In this case, because it was 2017, it was on Snapchat, which allows people to post a combination of a photo and text that disappears after 24 hours. I don't know if you guys knew that, but that's how Snapchat works. In 2021, it would be more likely to be on TikTok. Next year, it'll probably be something else. Okay, so it looks like they're kind of pointing at in this like random little tangent that the way we communicate is continually evolving. If you live with a teenager, there is little explanation needed as to why she did it. It's just what teenagers do. One would think that April Null, the first adult and a cheerleading coach and parent of a teen to whom the Snapchat screenshot was shown, would understand that and her role. One can either reduce teen drama or add to it. Nall, though, took the screenshot to Nicole Lucetta Rump, the other coach and a math teacher at the high school, who, again, as a cheerleading coach and high school teacher, should have had some prior experience with teenagers and their drama and how to react to it. So we can add one more note to our research notes, kind of pointing at the adults adding to the drama instead of diffusing it. All right. I think that's pretty much